battle stations. Let's talk about where artists work. This is JARHUMOR speaking, and I'm going to tell you a little bit not only about my own workstations and studios and whatnot, but I want to emphasize the importance of these spaces. The places where we create the magic. We are the architects of heaven, fellow artists. No matter what it is you do, you have got to create a space in which to do it. A modus operandi, a method of procedure in which you create the art, needs a space. A place to move around, a place to do your thing. Let's talk about this. Okay. I have multiple battle stations throughout my home. A little background on me. Right now, I am a bachelor. It's just me and the cat living in an old mobile home, and it's a giant man cave, but it's also a giant artist studio. In my bedroom, I have a permanent setup where there is my background. If you ever see any of the videos that I do where I appear on camera, right now there's a background of a painted Jackson Pollock looking, it looks like an old skating rink. It looked like someone won a Nickelodeon's Kids' Choice Award background. That background is up on a background stand permanently in my bedroom. 5 feet away from where I sleep and dream my dreams of of artistic content creator glory, is a background stand where I bought a bunch of like these ring lights, these multicolored ring lights that are up on light stands. I also have some studio light type stuff. I have a tripod with a camera. I have my Sony Handycam. I don't record on a phone. Even the vertical stuff, I do it on a camcorder and then put it into the computer. And the microphone though, my CAD condenser mic, I keep in the closet so the dust doesn't get on it. I don't want any crud getting on the microphone, so I got that on a mic stand in the closet. I bring that out when I want to shoot a video. That is permanently there. That is a permanent reminder that, hey, you need to make something. You need to film something. Off to the side of that is a bookshelf full of cartoon books, full of notebooks, full of things that I want to remember to do, and including a notebook that contains my little cartoon characters. If you ever seen any of my little cartoon characters where I jiggle around the characters in front of the camera, if you're familiar with 90s Nickelodeon, I got the idea from Stick Stiggly. This popsicle stick that had googly eyes and a big yellow nose and I think a pipe cleaner smile almost. It wasn't exactly pipe cleaner, but it was close enough. And the voice actor that brought that character to life, I go, oh my goodness, if I could do that with little cartoon characters. So I have an organized notebook. I am getting organized. I don't feel like an organized person. There's a lot of junk in my house that I'm not going to tell you about that's just sitting around that it really needs to be reconciled. Something needs to be done about it. But let's talk about the artistic stuff. All right? Yeah, I got my notebook with my cartoon characters and everything like that all over the walls. I've got Peanuts comics. I've got my own artwork. It's important to put some of your own artwork. You don't want to be an egomaniac. You don't want to be nothing but your artwork. But I have plenty of my artwork. I have across from that my first computer battle station that I'm going to talk about. And it's one of those desks that you can lift it up and you can stand at it. And I got my computer, which I run my software, my where I edit my videos and everything like that. And I run the microphone recorder over. That's where I record the audio for my videos. I record separate audios because the camera audio just don't work. I got my condenser mic. That's where I record my voiceovers for my cartoons. Right now I'm using my Tascam and I'm just walking around my home. But this is the first battle station. My desktop background is my logo. The last time I spoke to you, I talked about the importance of creating your artist brand, and I talked about my logo, the eyeball monster. I have that up on my computer. I have little magnets that have my logo and my artist name up on whiteboards. I got whiteboards everywhere where I write notes. This is an important thing. You've got to remind yourself of the things that you're doing. You have to constantly inundate yourself with your own sort of concept that you are an artist. And you have to create spaces that reinforce that. All right, so I have the desk that I work at. You go into the living room, I got a second desk. It's where I got my typewriter. I have I have two Royal typewriters, and I like banging on them, and I like them sitting around as like just sort of affectations, like just sort of an object that reminds me that I am a creative person. I'm a writer. I'm not really known for my writing. I'm known mostly for my cartooning and my rambling. And you would assume that's not writing, but writing is basically rambling that you organize later on. This is just rambling, but if I were to do a transcript of this and go, oh, well, I made a good point there, and this, I like the way this sentence is, but I could say it a little differently. That's all writing is. It's organized rambling, in my opinion. I don't know. A literary person might actually me. But I have workstations. Workstations are very important to an artist. The workstation in the living room, the background, for my laptop, or not my laptop, my computer screen, also my logo. Same one. I got more magnets. I got more whiteboards, more sticky notes. I got positive affirmations. I've got a quote from a movie that I love. This is from The Player. It's Tim Robbins' character, Griffin Mill, and then the woman, I can't remember the woman's name. But Tim Robbins, as this Hollywood producer guy, is talking to this woman about why her boyfriend's screenplay wasn't purchased. And he says, it lacks certain elements that we need to market a film successfully. She asks, what elements? And he says, suspense, laughter, violence, hope, heart, nudity, sex, happy endings, mainly happy endings. And then she replies, what about reality? So I have that little segment of movie script on a piece of paper up on one of my pegboard things, because I always like that. I have other quotes on pegboards. I have a giant whiteboard in my living room that I'm constantly doing notes. Right now I'm taking a look at it, and I have notes for funny videos, notes for cartoon ideas, what I want to focus on. Once again, there's affirmations. I have pinned a bunch of pieces of paper up to one of these cork boards that has an idea for what should have been a children's book, but I can't write for kids. It didn't end up being dirty, but it ended up being adult. Like, it's supposed to be a stranger danger book, but I'm like, you're making jokes that only adults would get. This is supposed to be for children. So that's a first draft. We'll call that a first draft. But I have that there as a reminder. It's like, hey, take another look at this. You've got to set reminders. You've got to set things around your workstation that remind you about what it is that you're doing. Inundate yourself with these things. I'm a huge sort of user of the law of attraction. I fill my mind with quotes, positive idea, positive affirmations. I like to meditate. I got a couch in my living room, a specific place I like to meditate. You want to find a space to work. The time in which you work. I like to work late at night. Right now it's the afternoon. There's a thunderstorm rolling in and stuff like that. It's kind of nice, but I can hear like my neighbors doing their stuff, cars going by. You know, I'm just looking out my kitchen window right now. Like, it's the afternoon. It's okay to work. It's okay to record one of these talks and talk to you guys. But if I really needed to concentrate on something, I like working late at night. You gotta not only should your space like have a visual element, but an auditory element. Maybe you put on some music. You know, you got your music. Maybe you have your record player. You know, maybe I got a record player somewhere. Mostly I just have my phone and I have like a little Bluetooth thing. Love putting on music. That works. So at my workstation in the living room, I got my drafting table, which is basically one of those portable like laptop carts that I can tilt it so I can better draw. I got my flex arm lamp, and on it I have this light box that I found at a thrift store that's made by Crayola. But right now it doesn't say Crayola at the top. It actually says Jar Humor. It says my logo because I recently bought a label maker. It's one of those ones that like pushes the letters into the piece of plastic. What is that called? Emboss. Like you squeeze it and it squeezes the letters into it. Oh, I love this thing. I've been putting my name on everything. Even the Tascam I'm holding right now actually says Jar Humor across the top. In fact, if you're listening to this on a video platform and I have a thumbnail image up, there should be an image of my Tascam, and if you look across the top of it, it actually says Jar Humor instead of Tascam. Because I've just been putting labels on everything. Because I want to soak that into my mind. This is who you are as an artist. The last time I spoke to you, I talked to you about the importance of an artist's name. Getting an artist's name. That means something to you. Now, when you're creating a workstation, which is what this is about, you want your artist's name, your logo somewhere. You want that as like a sense of pride. This is what I'm doing. This is what I'm creating. This is what I'm all about. So I have all my utensils, my pens, my pencils next to the light box. I've got a stack of paper. I've got various other things, notebooks. I've got a TV tray off to the side in case I want to put notebooks or anything up there. Corkboards, whiteboards. I got a cat calendar. I've got 3 cat calendars in total, but I got one at the desk. What day is it? What is important to you? Maybe even hanging up things of significance like a loved one. Let's say you've got a boyfriend, girlfriend that you love, or maybe like your pets even. Don't you want a better life for your pet? Put some photos up of your pet. Why are you making this art? Why are you out there hustling every day making this art? You need some inspiration. It's like the thing Homer put up. The do it for her thing with the pictures of Maggie all over it. That's what you need. You need that level of inspiration in your art workstation. All right, you put up works of other artists that you admire. I've got plenty of Gary Larson stuff. I love Gary Larson as a cartoonist. All over the place. I have a signed photograph of Dr. Shock from Dr. Shock's X-Ray Chiller Theater. He was a horror host up in Toledo, Ohio, when I used to live there as a kid at my great-grandmother's place. Every Saturday night I watched Dr. Shock's X-Ray Chiller Theater. And I said, that's what I want to do with my life. I want to be an artist, a performer. I want to entertain people. And that has been a huge inspiration. I've had this thing since I was like 9, 10 years old is when I met Dr. Shock. I'm 42 now. It's like I've had this piece of paper. It's in a frame. It's in my living room. It's where I can see it. I've got my art. I've got other people's art. I've got 2 battle stations as far as computer battle stations go, where I can sit and work. I've got my studio. These are all important things, and I'm getting more and more organized. I've got file boxes and file cabinets full of my art that I've done for other people, my freelance stuff. I've got my tools, my what is it like? I don't really use a T-square. I own a T-square. I never really use it because I don't draw straight lines anyways. My art's very fluid. It's very flowing. It's improvised. I do have rulers. I got little rulers. The tools sometimes don't matter. The tools sometimes they're just there. It's the creativity. I remember years ago I was talking to it was a young person. And he was talking about writing screenplays, and he was talking about final, what is that called? Final draft. I do have Movie Magic screenwriter, the one James Gunn used, and I do often say, what's the one James Gunn used? So I'm guilty of that myself, but I remember telling this kid, it's like, you need to learn how to do it in like a Word document. I said, you need to learn how to properly format a screenplay in a Word document. He's like, well, why, when I have things like Final Draft? And I said, because you might be somewhere and need to make revisions, or you might need to work and you may not have it. I said, pick up a copy of Trotter's The Screenwriting Bible. Learn what the margins are, so you know what they are. Nowadays, you could just look it up. You can search for it. Just do a search for what screenplay margins are, and you can find it. But you don't need that software. You don't need the latest editing stuff. It's nice that I have these things. The stuff that I use to create things. Without the image manipulation software, this would be a huge pain in the ass. There's a lot you can do. The technology is part of it. But your own creativity is what you bring to a real workspace. That's the importance of what I'm trying to say. Is bring your own creativity to a workstation, but you need that workstation. Because you're a professional. Alright? This isn't just a hobby for you. You need an office. You need a desk. You need people to respect the fact that you're at work when you're doing your art. You're not just dicking around. So it's very important. I'm fortunate in the fact that I don't have anyone really bothering me right now, except for the cat, and she only mildly bothers me when I'm working at my workstations. I'm also the type of person that can't sit still for very long. I'm pacing around my house right now. All right, you can hear the floors creak as I walk. Hey, you can hear the window air conditioners as I move from room to room. But it's important to build workstations based on your own personality. That's why I have multiple workstations. I'm bouncing from the workstation in the living room to the workstation in the bedroom or the studio. I get inspired by something. I'm like, oh, this would be funny. I take the stuff out. It's there. It's ready to go. The camera's already set up for if I need to film a video or something like that. I like to film late at night, so there's no noise. I gotta turn the window shaker off. I turn the air conditioner off, and I'm able to record that stuff. Sometimes I can record the audio for my cartoon videos at night and then film them whenever. Right now, I don't have the audio recorded. I can record the audio with short content. This is what I love about short content, and I'm going to go off on a tiny tangent. Is that usually takes don't get ruined by a truck, like a car going by, or like a neighbor kid yelling, or kids playing basketball or something like that outside. Usually when you're doing something that's like 20 seconds, if you can find that exact 20 seconds in which nothing in your environment is making a horribly loud noise, you can do pretty well. But I've had takes ruined by the person going by with their stereo blasting. It's like I can see on the meter that's picking that up. I can see. So, but yeah, workstations, and I've turned my entire house into my artist studio. I'm very passionate about what I do. I spoke in the last talk about how I had some health problems over the last year, and I had fallen out of habit of creating things. And having the constant visual reminder of the workstation, where you come home from your day job. My day job is I work in a grocery store, which I love. Don't get me wrong. But when I come home, I'm at my real job. I'm in my studio. Now maybe I'm tired and I gotta sit down, I gotta eat something, I gotta put something on the TV for about 30 minutes. But then I gotta get up. I gotta get to the workstation. I gotta sit down. I gotta work a little bit. I gotta do a little something. You gotta show up every day. As a professional, you gotta show up every day. And you have that workstation, you get in that habit. That habit is so important. To get in that habit of sitting at the workstation. Because the hardest part about facing the blank page, no matter what the blank page is for you, if it's a blank canvas, or if you're a musician, if it's just like, as a musician, you start with like a notebook. You got to come up with your idea for your song. Whatever your blank page is, though, you have to sit down and face it, and you need a place to do that. A well-organized, a place that just screams to you, do your art. That's what you need. That's what you've got to build. If you don't have that already, that's what you need, is a really great battle station. A place where you sit down and you do the art. As a young man, I never really understood that. Everyone has a desk, more or less. They have a place where their computer is. But I never understood the importance of how to finesse that, to really put the elements that I've talked about here into that workstation. The inspiration, the motivation, the idea of yourself as an artist. That's the biggest thing for me. The biggest thing for me is seeing myself. That name, JARHUMOR, and my logo is burned into my brain. It's what I wake up. You could shout it across the room. JARHUMOR, I'd turn around. I hear it the same as I hear my own name that I was given at birth. That is my name. My name is everywhere. My logo is everywhere. And I am proud of the work that I've accomplished up to this point. I've created some really funny, really cool looking stuff that I like, because that's the first person I'm trying to please, is myself as an artist. All right, hacks are the ones that look around and go, oh, what do people want? People don't know what they want. They don't know. You have to figure that out. You're the one making the communication with the divine. You're the one that's on the spiritual journey, and you need a place, you need an altar in which to communicate with the divine source of that creativity. That is what you need, and that is what our battle stations are. They are our religious altars. They are our temples. They are where we go to ask the gods to give us the creativity, to give us this thing that comes from somewhere else. We don't even know where it comes from, so that we can create the art. My cat is whining at me. Are you bothering me while I'm working? I tried desperately to go in the other room so you wouldn't hear her smacking around her ball thing. She's got this ball in a place. What you want, baby? You want to make a cameo? Huh? Yeah. Talking to the internet people about the importance of the workstation. When you have a kitty cat hanging around your workstation, it makes things better. And it really does. My cat often provides a level of stress relief when I'm sitting and working too much, and she meows at me. She sits in my lap, or she wants me to get down. Like right now, I'm on the floor with her right now. She loves for me to get on the floor with her. What, baby? Come here. What? I get on the floor, I wrestle with her, I push her butt around on the carpet. She likes me. She rolls onto her back. I'll grab her by the butt and I'll slide her across the carpet, and she loves it. She acts like she hates it, and then keeps getting into that position. Like, come on, slide me across the floor. And then she tries to bite me. Wow, what are you doing? You biting me? She never bites too hard unless she's really pissed off. She'll take a chunk out of me if she's not happy about what's going on. If it's time to put on the flea medication, she ain't happy. I'd say having like I said, motivation, inspiration, your tools of the trade organized, ready to go. This is what our workstations are all about. This is what our battle stations, our temples are all about. Whatever metaphor you want to use to hammer home the importance of a space for an artist to work. And it's gonna look different for everyone. But you got to ask yourself who you are. What inspires you? What type of art you create? What tools you really need, and get it organized. As artists, we tend to be unorganized as people. We tend to be chaotic. You've got to put some order into the workstations. You really do. That's what I've discovered. So yeah, I think I've pretty much covered everything that I wanted to cover with this talk about where artists work, where I work. This is kind of a little discussion about my own process and everything like that. So there you go. Anyways, I want to thank you so much for listening. You can find me anywhere on the internet at JarHumor, jarhumor.com. And this is Jar Humor, signing off.